Okay, so Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and today is Monday, and it is the 2nd of February. Whoa. All right, so here we go. That escalates things quickly, right? The moon is in Leo, and its void of course at 5:55 p.m. will enter Virgo at 10:21 p.m. That means about, 4.5 hours of void of course moon, particularly in the afternoon. Today is Imbolc or Groundhog Day, depending on how you look at it. In any event, it's cold outside with the cold moon living up to its name, at least here in New England and in the middle part of the country, that's for sure. Now, how was the full moon last night? My moon water froze partially, and the pattern at the top was very leonine looking. Carrie kind of called that, right? She was like, oh, okay. Well, that lion is a symbol of strength, courage, and rulership. So, with a regal lion in my moon water, this is going to nicely fall into yesterday's interpretation of the full moon, right? Assuming that mental of leadership and what we were thinking of doing as a culmination, not necessarily manifesting, because we got some work to do, all right? Today, the moon completes her opposition with the stellium in Aquarius. So she will check off Venus and Mercury on that trek. And we also find her square with Uranus and Taurus. Now, this is causing quite a bit of instability in Taurus things. And Taurus things being mostly like investments, like crypto and stuff like that. It's been massively just a rout in that. And it's been kind of volatile on regular markets and securities as well. So we have to make sure that, this volatility and, and not only that, but there's volatility in all sorts of public facing things, right? It's just the news is dizzying as far as, what's being said, what's being done, particularly in the United States. All right. So think about this. Today's keyword is assessment, and the color is zinc chromate primer. It's kind of a strange green color, but it's a shade of green. Now, as we begin to don the mantle of leadership that the full moon presented us with, it is time to step back. All right, and get an overview of the big pictures of the tasks that are going to be laid out before us. Kind of falls into place, right? We need to do this from a tech-focused, innovative position, so as to involve available Aquarian elements that are available to us, non-Aquarians, and be able to incorporate them into our vision for our roadmap moving forward. Virgo stuff, right? Not necessarily today, but tomorrow, oh my goodness, it's going to be Virgo AF. Okay, so think about this, because it's going to be a focused moon. All we have is a bunch of quincunxes. So what else do we have? Well, let's see. And those quincunxes mean that we've got little mini culmination points that could be there. So pay attention to those Virgo placements, especially when we turn around later on this year into that Virgo season. So, with that being said, think about this. We are also expecting a little greater focus on health and some benefit from that, thanks to Mercury's sextile with Chiron. And what's that mean? That means that Venus will be sextile Chiron, then the Sun will be sextile Chiron. Mars is going to lag behind. Mars is going to start lagging behind because Mars has a longer orbit than both Mercury and Venus. So that's what we got. Now, we can consider what it is that we don't know today, or perhaps what we can't see. Those quincunxes, right? Yesterday's they're still there. Those oppositions, yeah, we're feeling some stuff intuitively, but it's logical, okay? It's going to be logical, and it's going to be about what we're attracting. Valentine's Day stuff, right? Yeah, Valentine's Day stuff. And I got to tell you, I was in a CVS that they had just built probably about 2 or 3 years ago. It had water in the ceiling, had a broken window in it. I can't believe that it got so dilapidated so quickly. I wanted to say what a dump, but it was just like, oh my goodness, are you kidding? I can't believe that they closed the one down here that we could walk to open up that thing, clear on the other side of the town and across railroad tracks and everything like that. Bleh. All right. So anyway, there's a little personal tangent just to go off on it. Now, look, we consider what it is we don't know, and that's because of those quincunxes. We can't really see them. The moon arrives in Virgo too late today to really have any effect on our workday. And honestly, that void of course is going to have you feeling like, why would I? Right? Especially, after the workday's done. We're going to get to work and it's going to be like, it's Aquarius. That's fine. A little bit of we use that Aquarian energy because that's where the sun's at. That Leo energy that we have left over, well, that is where we're going to find some, for the lack of a better word, praise and accolades and reward, right? Because we made stuff happen. We had to do what we had to do. So it might be a great chance for that to get acknowledged because the real work's going to start tomorrow when the moon enters Virgo. And, after the moon enters Virgo, because it enters it tonight at 10:21, but that's way too late here on the East Coast to actually do anything useful with that on the day. So how do we make the best things that we do? Well, look, we know that moon's coming in Virgo. Okay, that's going to happen tomorrow. But we're going to take some first steps as we dig into the work week just a little bit today. Mostly it's going to be like, hey, it's a new month. We did a good job. We did what we had to do. All right, so organize computer files later on tonight for the new year. I mean, your personal computer files, right? Yeah, just consolidate them. I know it should already be done, but maybe tonight we have a great opportunity to do that because get that Virgo moon, right? We can be detailed about it. We can figure out what we need to do. All right, so in 1892, the bottle cap for beverages is patented by a U.S. inventor, William Painter. And guess what? It hasn't changed since then. Still used today, the good old-fashioned bottle cap, 1892. And our birth is in 1651. A certain person named William Phipps. He was born, he's a North American treasure hunter, military man, and administrator. He was the first governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. He's born in Nequasset in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Now, before you go get thinking about it, Nequasset is actually in Maine. Okay, so Maine was actually part of that Massachusetts Bay Colony, but he's actually from Nequasset is part of Woolwich, Maine, which is near Bath. Interesting, right? So before you think, because I saw Nequasset and I was like, "What's Nequasset? I've never heard of that." I recognize plenty of these names like this because that's a Wampanoag name, right? Nequasset, Katamet, Pecasset, yes, Sippawisset. Those are all names of villages on Cape Cod that have similar names to that village up in Maine. All right? Nequasset. Now, think about this. He was the governor of Massachusetts at the time of the Salem witch trials. And he was the one, when he got summoned back to England to stand charges for customs or something like that. He never got convicted on anything like that because he ended up getting sick and dying before he did, but he was arrested in England on his return in 1695. So, interesting, right? The history on this is quite extensive, only because he was friends with Increase Mather and Cotton Mather of the Salem witch trials fame. So that's all I have for you. And he was actually a very successful treasure hunter, so that was interesting as well. So let's recap, shall we? Today, our color is zinc chromate primer. Yes, zinc chromate primer. And our keyword is assessment, as we begin to assess what it is we need to do to don that mantle and wear it well, right? Regally. Yes, if I were king of the forest. And that is all I have for you. Today is a 5. Happy astrocatting.